Yo, what's up, guys? We're back. Can't even speak, but we're back with the part 3 on creating this GaryVee type video. There's a few things I want to note before we move on. There's a couple things I changed due to the timestamps. So I went ahead and we're gonna focus on this timestamp right here, number 7. So then I changed the heading to "Showing empathy does not require agreement." So that timestamp is from 1 hour and 47 minutes. So over here, you can see how it's changing over here as well. So from 147, let's see. Okay, we'll start here. So I'm gonna cut the host here, split air, and then we'll see what I do next. Okay, and it's from to 148.09. So 48 mark is here to 09. Let's see. It's reaching 9. Okay, we'll just end it there. There we go. So then we're gonna split it there, and this is our footage right here because this is the timestamp. So what we do is delete that and delete that. Now you're like, okay, well, why is it all the way over there? We're gonna drag it all the way to the front. Drag it. Okay, and then line it up. Hold Shift, and it lines it up, and then there we go. So this is our timestamp. Cool. There we go. So the objective for this video is to show you how to add the captions. So I'm not sure if you can hear the footage or not, but when you play it, obviously they're speaking. There we go. So here we go. So here you go. First IG post. Get the text, and then just put it over here in this black area. And right now it's kind of big, and you can't see it because the font color is black. So just highlight it to white. There you go. Now I don't like to use thick captions like that. So first of all, I'm gonna take the italicize off. I'm just gonna use light. There we go. And then center it. And then these are kind of big, so let's try 60. A little smaller, 50. Let's try 50. I like 50. Cool. Always center it. All right, so here's your text layer. Obviously, it just has a bunch of F's, but if I put like text layer, it changes with it. So whatever your first caption is going to change the layer name to that. All right, so we're going to go over to the text layer. You're going to do the drop down menu, and don't go to transform, but go to text. Okay, this is crucial. You see this little source text? You're going to hit this little this stopwatch right here, and it's going to create a little box for you. This is called a time frame. So the whole, how captions work in this case is you're going to create a bunch of these little boxes, and each box is going to say something different. So that's how we align the text to what the the content is saying, or the user, or I don't know why I said user, but the host or your guest, whatever kind of content you're creating. Drinking some water real quick. All right, so we're gonna create a bunch of these boxes. So let's see what he says here first. So I'm gonna push play. Listening to someone and showing empathy. So listening to someone and showing empathy. Let's play that again and make sure that's what he said. Listening to someone. There we go. So he says showing empathy for someone. Cool. The spacing in here, I'm gonna decrease it, so I'm gonna highlight everything, the whole text. Then we're gonna go right here, these little spacers. So this VA, you see the arrows, this kind of stretches the text apart from each other, and then this is the line height. So just hover over the 92 little arrows, and then click, and then drag to your left, and you see how the lines change with your text. So I like them to be a little bit closer together, like that. And then just center, just to make sure. And then we're eventually going to add a time bar above it. So I'm going to bring it down. So in this case, now you can hit transform, position, so your y-axis, and then just drag it down, or to your right. Just drag it to your right. Let's keep it right there. Right there's good. Okay. Cool. You have added your first caption. Close the transform. Keep the text one open because this is where you're gonna see all your boxes. Maybe zoom in. Okay, cool. I'll push play. Listening to someone and showing empathy for someone. Okay. Okay, here we go. So he says, does not mean that you have to agree with them. That's what he says. So now we play it. Just take note of the boxes right here. So then after he says the first part, and then when it switches, there you go. Does not mean it. So you see how we're gonna have to do this. So these boxes, you're gonna move them. Eventually, you can move them to make sure it aligns with the audio. A quick little note to show you is that let's suppose you did a, you know, look at my arrow right here where my player head is. Let's suppose like you see a typo. Let's suppose you spelled agree wrong, but your playhead's over here and you change it. It's gonna create, so put agree. Just three. It's gonna create another box here, and what's gonna happen is when you play it, watch when you play it, the same one stays, and then when it goes over the one you just edited, it does it again. You don't want that. So let's suppose there's a typo. Always go back to the box that text is in. So if you want to change a typo, let's suppose you spelled agree wrong here, just double click this box because that's where that text belongs to, and it takes you back, and then now you change it so that way you don't have a double text. That's a big error that I would not like you to face because you're gonna get frustrated. Like, why is my text not changing when I fix that, and but the other one's staying? Like, yeah. So just always go back to just double click the box where the typo's at and change the wording. So yeah, let's keep going on. Okay. There you go. So he starts with, you know, there are some things. Here we go. Okay, so then he like Fred. So Fred is a guest. So he's talking Fred. Like Fred. Okay, and then he says, you and I have had conversations. Okay, and then I'm gonna add right here in the past. Where? So the next one is where you say something. So see, okay, here's a good example. I want to show you guys. I want to go back to that arrow I was talking about. So here I spell you wrong, really bad. I added a T. So let's suppose I'm playing it. You know, cool, everything looks good, and then like, oh shoot, there's a typo right there. So I pause and then look at my player head. It's a head. There's no box, but it's like my instinct says, all right, I'm just gonna change you. I'm just gonna take off that T. Oh, perfect. I fixed my text, but we failed to realize that it created a box. So look at what happens. I'm gonna play it. It's gonna hover over this box where my typo was at, and it's still there. And then it goes over the box that I fixed and it fixes it. You don't want that. You want to just so the text that has the typos in this box, double click that one and it takes you back, and then just take off the T there. And you don't create a new box, you're just editing that box. So now you don't have a typo. I hope that makes sense. So let's keep going. Okay, so he says some things. And I don't necessarily agree with them. Wrong. So since I haven't moved yet, I'm gonna fix it now since I noticed it before I kept going. So necessarily, I'm not even sure if you spelled that right, or if I spelled it. Oh, and two. we'll go back eventually. Later on, we'll go through the whole thing. But yeah, guys, this is kind of like you're gonna just keep going. You're gonna keep going through the whole, until you end. So this is where it ends right here, and then you're gonna just keep adding your text as you move along, and then eventually you're gonna have a full, what's it called? Your whole captions are gonna be ready. So yeah, guys. So I'll see you guys in the next one. In part 4, I'm gonna show you how to add a time bar. And then I think I'm gonna do it for part 5. I'm gonna show you how to do a overlay, so like a closing. So for this client, I do like an overlay at the end and then have a call to action. So yeah, I'll split those up in 2 other parts. But there you guys have it on how to add captions and making sure it aligns. In the last video, we'll go through a whole process where we make sure the audio aligns with the text, so that when it plays, it's aligned. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.